Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the new podcast that sets out to answer that age-old primary school playground question of what's your top five? And I'm delighted to be joined by the hilarious Sky Sports News pundit, Ray Bradshaw.
I got paid a couple of times. That'll fine. That's fine. Technically,
it's
that's
on the
true.
CV, mate. It's
Yeah, man. Do you know
absolutely-
what? I've been putting a tour thing together. I forgot about that. I became Mark Wright's best friend for a month.
Absolutely. Tuned in after every Scotland game.
So I forgot about that
was
completely.
so, was it because you had the Scotland flags? Like,
Did you know why?
behind
We
you?
just moved house and we had Artex from like the 60s. So I was like, oh, I look dead shite. So yeah, oh man, yeah, that was great. Just me slagging on Mark Wright and David James and yeah.
Absolute
I forgot
clickbait
about
on
that.
Twitter. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Because I was only meant to do 3 of them. And then the first one, I slagged David James so much that literally I got off air at like 9:06 and 9:07. They'd email me like, can you do all of next week? And like, here's your guess. It was like Ryan Jack, Stephen Presley, like just rip into him. So I was like, a class.
Easy.
It's nice to do the first one of these, but I'll be honest, mate, this is much more professional than I was expecting.
I've kind of winged it, mate.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I would have worn nicer clothes. I've
No,
got
you look
dirty
great,
trainers on.
You look great, mate.
I know, but look, mate, look at the stance you've got. You've got the nice trainers on. You've got the shacket.
Yeah.
You've got an iPad.
Brought
Whereas I've brought a pad that my mum gave me of a map of the world, and she gave me this 2 months before COVID kicked in. So it was like an absolute slagging the whole time I had it.
it's like a wee school jotter,
Yeah, mate. Oh, it actually is.
which is a nice segue into
Yeah.
school. Because I'm sure, as you can guess by the title, we're here to find out top fives, but I'm not here to find out who you fancy. We're here to answer the real questions, because I feel your other half and mine wouldn't approve if we were sitting here talking
Haley
about it.
could not give a fuck. I remember when did you mess with me about what's your top 5? I remember at school, because how old are you?
33.
Right, so I'm the same, 33, right? So I remember having to do your top 5 S Club 7. So you'd pick the 4 girls and then whichever guy you fancied the most out of them. So you'd pick Bradley, Mark, or
Yeah.
John. I always remember that.
You rattled those names off
Oh,
very
'cause
quickly.
that's 3 of my top 5. Why would I not?
Rachel Stevens, number 1, obviously.
Yeah, but every now and then, like Tina, just jump
depend-
in. Yeah,
Just depends every now
Tina,
and then.
Hannah, and then Jo, but she was a racist, wasn't she?
Actually, she was on Big
Yeah,
Big Brother.
I don't think I
and
need to say allegedly. I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think she got done.
Aye, it was out there for all to see. What school did you go to?
John Hill.
Dunhill.
Yeah, were you?
Horrid.
Oh, were you? So many comics went there.
I think
Frankie
Boyle
went there.
Yeah.
Des Clark, Scott Agnew, Eddie Cassidy, tons. But as well, Clarkey and Agnew said they once did a gig at the Stand, and I think maybe Scott was hosting and Des was closing, and one of the acts on in the middle was their RE teacher
Amazing.
who'd come down to try
That
5
is-
minutes.
Oh God.
But Holyrood like takes over like the south side, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's 2,500. When I was there, it was 2,500 pupils. Like it's a mad school.
I'm sure Frankie told me he was on like a wall of achievements and then he did something and he got taken
Yeah,
down.
it was. I think it was the swimmer Rebecca
Adlington, was
with
it
the
that one?
spoon,
Yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah.
looking at- I
It's not
think-
even that bad a joke.
I know, but I think it was just everyone was like Olympics and all
So he
that.
get taken down.
This thing we went there. What's his name for Simple Minds? Jim Kerr.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like
yeah.
one.
He went over it as well.
My music, see, because I grew up, my mum and dad are deaf. My music knowledge is terrible, like genuinely terrible. Anything pre kind of Trash Unders and anything
Loved
under that,
the
yeah,
Trash
mate.
Unders.
Trash Unders.
Trash
Punjabi
Unders.
MC and Fat Man Scout was
Boy.
incredible. But that was, yeah. I loved that, man. And that's how I kind of get into, I'm doing a music show in the radio soon, and all my music references are literally Ja Rule Ashanti onwards, like nothing else.
Did they have anything for like sign? I'm assuming they didn't for like sign language or anything when you were at school. Is that
Nah. So like my mum offered to kind of teach sign language at school. They never really took her up on it.
No.
And it's now, sign language is a wee bit sexy now. Like, because Rose is one strictly.
Yep.
There's a couple of things coming up. And it's like in the news quite a lot. You've got a deaf contestant on Love Island.
Yeah.
So you've been watching it? Are you, it's like, I'm good because I gig, so I go away and I miss it. Are
I'm
you
all in.
regular?
All in.
It's because you got a kid now, so you're trapped in.
Well, he goes down to, we've put him down and
Yeah.
then we just like do
Is that
this
your
Love
treat?
Island for that 1 hour and then we're like, right, let's go to bed.
Do you do after sun as well on a Sunday?
No. We do the unseen bit sometimes on the
Oh,
Saturday.
do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too far.
No,
mate.
but you get actually better. Like it's funnier. It's better. Like
Is it?
I could see like it's all produced and it's like, oh, your phone's going to go and that they try and actually like show them playing games or being daft. It's a bit more like real. Like, in
I
what you
remember
can see.
Ian Sterling when he was doing Love Island. I remember he told me he was doing it, and I was like, "This is season 1 before." And I was like, "Mate, your voice is the worst thing about you. Like, how have you got this job?" And then now, like, absolutely, he's doing Love Island America. He's so good at it as well.
I think it's got to see that Laura Whitmore does it, and he gets to like introduce her in.
Yeah,
and you can just hear in his voice, he's like, yes.
But he's done. He makes me laugh in it as well, which is I find like I don't listen to podcasts of people I know because I find I can tell when they're being fake, and it's kind of that. But Ian, every time he's on telly, he does make me laugh.
Makes you laugh. That's class, mate. That's class. Well, kind of looping back round to what we're saying. So top 5s. It's not necessarily serious things I want to hear, but I've written a top 5 down for myself.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is you can give me yours. And
So we're comparing. Okay, right. Okay, yeah. What you got?
So, top 5 bald men.
I didn't realize.
Obviously, you're in my list.
So what a lot of people don't realize, I was talking about this last night on stage, coincidentally, because it had happened. Do you ever plan on going bald? Do you think you will?
Based on my family, it's not looking likely.
Oh, really?
I've got this.
I'd imagine your dad is who's the big fat ginger guy from Braveheart? Do you know the guy I mean? Like Hamish, that's your family lineage.
Do you know, me and my dad and my brother couldn't look more different. The two of them are like my dad's like white silver hair now, but like they're like both slim, like 5'11", 6 foot, dark eyes, dark features, and then there's me.
So what
is like
what's your motto?
Dark hair. And everyone in my family has dark hair.
Suspicious.
I know, but we do look alike facially, but I was a wee bit like VAR. If it was around then.
Imagine paternity done by VAR.
The doctor's like.
But the thing is, VR get it wrong so often.
You're right.
You'd be like, nope, you are with that Asian family. That is your family. Like, what? I don't understand it.
Because I've thought about like shaving like my hair off and that, but I've got a couple of mates that are like kind of thinning on top, and they take it very personal. It's like, you've got a full head of hair. Why would you like get rid of it?
I remember saying to one of my mates, "Your hair's going grey," and he was like, "Well, your hair's going looser." Remember that was a really good slagging. I found out I was going bald because when I was getting my hair cut, it was £1 cheaper 2 times in a row. Like, genuinely. I was like, this not used to be 9. Like, why is it 7? The guy was like, mate, have a look. And then
it takes me a minute.
But see if you wear a new jumper and you shave your head.
Aye.
Fluff everywhere. Like every now and then I'm like, fuck, if I get black hair again.
Do you have to bick it, or is it?
No, I get a wee razor, or I go, if I'm doing any telly or anything like that, I go to a Kurdish barber. He used to be called Halgard. What's the new guy called?
Barber at Mabit's called Halgard.
Aye, it was him, because I used to live there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Halgard's still.
Is he still there? Still kicking a ball? Now I got a guy called Kaka, which is not his real name, but he loves AC Milan.
I was going to say.
So, but yeah, no, I would never bick it.
I know, just a guy I work with, like, he buys the disposable like Vicks and just lets it bold him. He comes in with tissue paper.
But also, see, when I see someone that's gone clean shaven, I was like, you're hiding a murder. Like, that's why you've got rid of every hair.
Just eyebrows.
Yeah, like nothing. Why you shaved your arms, you fucking weirdo?
Oh, my mate once shaved his hands, right? So he had really hairy hands, and it was like he's got really dark, and he was quite self-conscious, so he shaved it. Right?
Was that not even weirder?
But it looked like he had gloves on.
Yeah, like
Needless to say, he's
in jail. Wow. Okay.
Right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Bald men. So would it help if I gave you?
Yeah, give me your 5, because I wrote down my top 5 gingers.
Perfect. So I'll give you my 5 bald, and you can try and hit me back with some. You give me your gingers, and we'll.
So I'm doing a French show. I've called it. It's like a work in progress. I've called it Bald Ginger, because I'd like 40 minutes to come up with a title. So I messaged my agent. I was like, "What do you think about Bald Ginger? Because it's 2 words of what I am." And he replied, "Why don't you call it Fat Dickhead?" I was like, oh, all right, I'm not giving you 15% this month, mate. What are you doing? Right, let's hit me your 5 baldies.
So, Pitbull.
Oh, strong start.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, Mr. Roll on deodorant. Yeah, he is top.
Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Purely, I like X-Men. Like,
yeah.
It's so good. I'm not a big like Trekkie, but I think like that role, iconic.
Cool.
Big man does good, and being an actor like Shakespeare and stuff.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson.
Are you okay?
Questionable because he does have hair on top.
Yeah.
Some may argue that he's not bald, but I think. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Great.
And this may divide the audience, but the Pope. As in a blanket statement, because they're all bald.
Are they? Are they? I've never done the pie chart of the bald Pope. Would it
He's
blow
not my number one, I'm just saying.
Would it blow your mind to know I've met one of them?
If you have met Pitbull, I always mind. Have you met?
Patrick Stewart.
Have you?
Yeah, so I went to like a drama school, and when you graduate, there was all these guests. In the year I graduated, so it's owned by Paul McCartney, so he gives you your degree, and it's class.
That's wild.
You were told not to mention Heather Mills, like
Right.
blanket told. But Patrick Stewart got like an honorary degree, and so did Wits Yer, and Wits Yer bought everyone booze and like was sound, and Patrick Stewart didn't speak to any of us. So he kind of came in, and like you meet him, you get your degree, you shake hands.
Patrick Stewart
Out,
is
Wits Yer
off
in.
my top
Get you
five.
in. Get you
and
in.
Wits Yer is now in the top five.
I particularly enjoyed the bit when you said I was in your top 5 bald guys, and then didn't name me in any of the 5. How did the Pope get ahead of me? This was a special car, right? I've done my top 5 gingers, right? So 1, John Hartson,
Absolutely couldn't agree more.
2, Liam Boyce, another lookalike. 3, the guy in the McCain's advert who sells chips,
Another lookalike.
spitting image. 4, Michael Rappaport. If you watch Friends, Phoebe's boyfriend, the cop that shoots the bird,
Yes.
we have the same face.
Yes.
Like, same face.
Mate, you
Like,
do.
same face. Number 5, Paul Scholes. Just because.
Excellent.
Anyone who can hit a 30-yard volley but can't tackle is right up there for me. Like, that's what you want in a centre mid. I watched the other day I watched Paul Scholes' top 100 Premier League goals. His is good, but Matt Letizier's one is like
It's
porn.
wild.
It's insane.
Like Neil Lennon would have been up there, but undone all that work.
I've met him twice and argued over about football trivia both times. He takes it so seriously. And he came across quite well, but I was adamant one of my answers was right and he was adamant it was wrong. But we're both too pissed to
Michael
Google it.
Fassbender.
Yeah.
He is
good at football trivia.
Terrible at football trivia. I met him once.
Doesn't even know that Clarence Seedorf answer. Like, what an idiot.
Well, he should have good Bundesliga. Like,
is he German?
His surname Fassbender?
But I just thought he was like American German.
No, I think his mum or dad, one of his parents is German and one of his parents is Irish, and he lived in Germany for like years.
I'm guessing Fassbender's the German part, not the Irish part.
Aye, probably. Michal Fassbender.
Class name, isn't it?
Yeah, that is good. Top 5s can we do? Well, you have a wee beer there.
Yeah.
A wee Quilmes. Top 5 pints. I put this out on Twitter and it got heated because some people are just doing it for bites and were like Foster's, Carlin, and I was losing my shit.
Right, first things first, Madry can get in the bin.
Right.
Don't get it.
It's not that good.
I was on tour last year and me and my mate Mac, we went out to we're in Dartford. You ever been?
No.
Oh, don't go. And
have you ever been?
Yeah, we went. So I was doing a tour support. So my mate Mac was about to go back to London. So we had like an hour before. So we went to the pub next to the venue. They didn't do anything on draft at all. So we're like, right, Brexit territory, get out. So we go to the next pub and they had that Madry and we're like, I'll try it. The eggiest pint I've ever had.
It's just not good.
Overrated.
I think Carlsberg on it.
Oh, right, that makes sense. Right. Paulaner is probably, I bought another wee keg of that in the house recently.
So good.
Lovely. I go to Australia a lot. See when it's like 35 degrees and then ice cold beer glass out the freezer with a pint of Asahi. Banging.
Asahi is one of those beers that I feel tastes good or tastes great in draft, bottle, and can.
Yeah.
See the wee cans of Asahi.
Oh, they're class as well.
So I don't like cans.
I think Australia's like that as well. I think it's versatile.
Yeah, and Moretti, wee cans of Moretti are okay, but I feel Asahi just sets itself because I'm not a fan of canned. I don't like cans.
I remember this would have been 2013. So I'm a Thistle fan. I was doing the Edinburgh stand on the Saturday night, and the Sunday Thistle were playing a cup final against Queen of the South. And I was in Edinburgh stand. I was like, going to give some beers so I can take for the train for tomorrow. And one of the guys who worked there went, do you want some Casquena? Have you ever had Casquena, right? So I was like, what is it? And he went, it's a Peruvian beer. And I was like, yeah, right. And he sold it to me so well. He went, it's probably what Nobby Solano drinks. And I was like, yeah, I'll take 6. Like, give me that. Let me take it all in. It was just the easiest sales tactic. But I was in Spain a few weeks ago, and there was like a world food fair, and there was a proving stand, and they did Casquena. So I was having that. That was class.
Like Nova Solano drinks this.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Trying to tell my wife, she's like, shut up.
Well, you got a photo. Were you in Argentina?
Well, no, that was in Spain with the massive Quilmes festival.
Aye.
It was a Quilmes. Oh, it was class.
Massive
Quilmes, I think it's all right.
It's good. It's easy to drink. See for 4.6%.
Yeah.
So it's not like a light lager, but it's not heavy.
I like a lot of stuff
you can just tan.
Viru,
the Estonian
lager. Yeah, it's like a wee juice.
It trips me out because of the shape of the bottle.
Yeah.
You take a massive tan,
Yeah.
and it's just like
yeah, that's right.
oh, wait, it's down to here, but because of the shape, you've actually got what's left.
I like it. What else did I write down? Oh, I love Spaten. Spaten's decent.
See,
good
German stuff though.
German lager.
Lowenbräu and Paulaner, the Augustiner lager beer. How?
What's your? I mean, I feel I should add tenants in here, but
I know, like a pint.
I would never have tenants in the house ever.
If you're talking draft,
Yeah.
white pints, Tenants is absolutely in there. Purely for the fact is it's probably what you had as your first, if not second, because I think my first pint was a pint of San Miguel on holiday.
Yeah.
Like I think most people's tends to be the first beer they get given as a San Miguel because it tends to be when they're away. But I think a Tenants, like see when you're just down the pub for a few pints and you have a good pint of Tenants.
Yeah. I remember Tenants reminds me of there's a pub that we used to go to when like 16, 17, 18 and they knew we were underage. So whenever the Tenants was going out of date, they would just sell us at half price. So just drinking eggy Tenants all the way through summer of 2005 and 6. That was my main memory of Tenants.
Eggy Tenants, now you're onto Eggy Madre.
Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I've got sulfur imbalance. What else you got in yours?
Guinness.
Oh, I'm not a Guinness drinker at all.
It's totally dependent on if it's a good Guinness or not.
Yeah.
Like there's certain pubs in Glasgow that are superb pints.
Where?
The Thornwood.
Ah, yeah.
Thornwood, but they don't pour a bad pint.
Yeah.
The Smithy. The old Smithy.
Yeah.
Oldcastle Road. Like that's my pub. Like
I remember, because I don't really care about Celtic and Rangers, and I remember going in there when Celtic played Rangers at Hampden, not realising that becomes like the unofficial Celtic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, quite a lot of Celtic fans. And then I saw a bus, and I was like, oh, okay.
Like, so the bottom of Sims Hill, which is just notoriously like a kind of Celtic.
I still don't believe, I lived in the south side for 5 years, I still don't believe that Cross Hill's a real place.
Like, it's beside Torrid.
I know, but like...
But Cross Hill is literally a train station.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like Croy. Like, what's the point? Like,
I think the number 10 hotel...
yeah, that was right from where I used to live,
I think that's classed as Cross
Hill, is it?
Like that bit. So you've basically got a hotel, a bowling club, and a train station. That's Cross Hill.
Bowling club with a nice mural.
Along the
you see the trains,
or something like that.
Scotland stuff. What else is in yours?
See Menabrea. Quite like that. Quite like, again...
It's what you get when you have a pasta and a nice Italian, innit?
Well, Smitty does a Menabrea.
Does it?
I think Tenants on it.
Do they?
I think so. I might talk straight there.
I like Tusker. Tusker's good.
Tusker's the...
Kenyan, yeah.
They had the Nigerian Guinness.
Yeah, man. So,
oh my God.
One of the weirdest days of my life was I was doing... Well, not weirdest day of my life. It was just a really odd afternoon. I was doing a showcase, an agent showcase in London. That's how well it was. 4 weeks before COVID hit. So absolutely pointless being seen by TV people then. So went down for that. But I went for a pint beforehand and the pub, it was in London, so the pub sold Nigerian gin. Oh, really hard to say. Nigerian Guinness. So I was like, oh, I'll have one of them. And then my mate Mac messaged me saying, oh, we're out. Me, my Molly, his now fiance, and a couple of us are out. And I go to this, what I later find is like an Afro-Caribbean kind of place. And I walk in, and the first thing I see is Nigerian Guinness on draft. So I was like, great.
Draft?
And then I look up and I see my mate Mac singing Shania Twain or Alanis Morissette karaoke. And I was like, it's 8:30 on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
What? You've got a real job. What are you doing, man? And then we just sat and sang karaoke songs ages with all these random...
That's what Nigerian Guinness does to you.
Man.
It's what, like 9% or something like that?
I don't know. It fucked me up.
It's like thick. It's like
it's
really...
like a syrup kind of thing, isn't it?
It's because we got a bottle of it and opened it thinking, oh, we'll tell you, when I was pouring it and it was that kind of gloopy way into the glass.
My mates are really into crafties, like craft beers, right? And I like craft lagers, all that kind of stuff. But see when we go out and they're like they have 4-8% beers in a row, I'm like, I'd be in my bed. What are you doing?
Was it the Giffnock Beer Festival or the Southside Beer Festival or something? And we were there, and I was with my brother and a few of his mates, and they were selling like Joker.
Yeah.
But it was double Joker, but they would only sell you half pints of it, and you could only buy one at a time. And one of the boys was just literally buying it, handing it, walking to the back of the queue, and then it got to the point we were just like standing talking. They're like, "Where's Martin?" And then we look over, and he just stood. It's in a tent, and he's just staring at the side of the tent.
Stand there shaving his hands. Like, what are you doing?
Different guy.
Yeah.
He's in jail as well.
Yeah. We, Joker, man, in our group chat, Joker, you always talk about how you have the worst shits. The next one, it's always Joker arse. So when you said double Joker, I was like, double Joker arse.
Double Joker arse.
Fuck,
I was going in the group
that's
chat.
a retirement day, man. What you do with double DGA?
Oh,
not again.
Dear.
DGA sounds like a comedy agency that would try to sign me. Like, oh, I don't want to sign with DGA.
Hi, I'm from DGA.
Hi, I'm from Double Joker Arse. How you doing? It generally does as well.
So we've named a lot of beers there. So let's try and name it, rein it in, and let's try and make a combined top 5. Are we going to put
Paulaner and Tennant's in?
Right.
Asahi. You choose one. Nigerian Guinness.
Nigerian Guinness.
And then we should pick one that's dreadful.
I am an avid despiser. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
An avid of Foster's.
Yeah.
And Carl's.
You know it's not available in Australia?
Yes. And I think that's what annoys me more.
And do you know, like, if you go to Melbourne, the shit beer is Peroni.
Well, I think if you go to Italy, the shit beer's Peroni.
We've been done. Absolutely done.
Peroni Red is like, people go mad for that as well. And I'm like, it's nice. But this, if you could get that on
Do you know what I actually like? See, in a really hot day, a cold pint of Red Stripe. Because Red Stripe reminds me, do you ever go to Cushion?
Mate, I was just...
The vending machine.
£1 vending machines.
Yeah.
And then they would just leave the cans on the table.
Yeah.
You would have...
Build a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the saddest days of my life. So there used to be a vending machine in a club in Cushion, called Cushion in Glasgow. And the saddest day was it was big cans for £1. And then, I don't know, probably, I presume the day the Tories came in, it changed to mini cans of Heineken for £1.
Oh, because it was a vending machine.
Only time I've ever been in a club and poured one out. Like, for my fallen soldiers of the Red Stripe cans. Oh, man, yeah. So, yeah, chuck Red Stripe in there, I think.
Yeah. Just going to draw back on just another beer as well, just because you said on a roasting hot day. You had Fruly.
Yeah.
The strawberry beer. Now, a selling point to this was, I was like, oh, what does it taste like? And the guy just said to me, it's cider without the heartburn. And I was like, I'm in.
I'm in my 30s. Sounds delightful.
I was like, when you go out, you're like, okay, wallet, phone, keys, Rennies.
See, I don't get the heartburn.
Oh, mate, I get it so bad. So bad. Like, you could just be sitting. Now, my missus had heartburn really bad during her pregnancy.
Yeah.
And she just used to pop Rennies like all day. So it was great because I would just always lying about.
But if you want to empathise, you could just drink a Strongbow.
But I was going out for a few pints and I was like, oh, I need some Rennies. And I took the last ones. See the message, no, the voice note. I got,
oh, do you used to do voice notes to each other?
No. But this unwarranted one.
Wow.
Aye, because I got a voice and I was like, what? And my phone broke. I don't have it anymore, but I would have genuinely just like held it up and played it. And it was just...
How far is she going? What, is she threatening or what?
Oh, she was like... It was just like quiet. She was like,
Quiet's worse.
did you take Rennies with you when you went out? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, because it was like a wee voice note, just that. And I was like, I replied, because I was in the pub. I was like, yeah. And then it was like 2 minutes. Well, you've taken my last pack of Rennies. I'm sitting here, 8 months pregnant, and I have the worst. It was just quiet, and it just went on, and it just ended with, enjoy your night. Fuck you. And then she said, love you. And I was like, but really, so I played it to the guys on the table.
A good new kind of Liam Neeson film, wouldn't it? Taking just chasing down Rennies everywhere, man.
I was very tempted because I wasn't that far from where, like, I think I was just in the Smithy, and I wasn't far from where I lived, and I was very tempted to be like, did I do it? But I thought, no, I'm gonna slam it. Wish I'd done. Wish I'd done it.
No, I can't imagine getting death threats over Rennies. Thankfully, we never had that. So what we chucking? What you?
So
Do you chuck in a fruit beer or
no, we'll go red.
or I kind of like a wee neck oil.
The Beaver Town
yeah.
glasses and that cool.
Oh yeah, bumped a couple of them. But Paulana glasses are the good ones to
Oh,
bump. Yeah.
Have you seen the?
Someone I know I don't know if I can name him. Yeah, I know people that have stolen so many pint glasses but don't live in this country, and their luggage when they go back to the country they live in is like 10 or 12 pint glasses from their 8-day trip to Scotland. Like it's got a shelf. Sometimes when you FaceTime, you're like, fuck that. Did they do Heverlee over there? No, that's from the Church on the Hill. Like, oh, okay.
Because I think it was Beer Hawk. It was my brother sent me a link. They were selling like 20 quid, but it was like 4 bottles of Erdinger. But you got an Erdinger glass and it had Jurgen Klopp on it, like drinking a pint.
Liverpool would love that, man. They would
Like-
snap up that kind of shit.
I sent it to my mate and he bought it. He's just absolutely. He's a mad Liverpool fan.
We one of the days in lockdown, my mate Paul organised. We all got sent like he was like send me 20 quid, so we all sent him it, and he sent like 8 cans of neck oil to our house and a neck oil glass, and we just sat there and got steaming on Zoom. And my mate Craig he was in Kuala Lumpur at the time, and he was like, right, I'm working tomorrow, so 5 p.m. your time, can you send me to bed? That's midnight. And then it gets to like 6 p.m. So 1 a.m. his time. He's not speaking anymore. Like, right, go to bed. And he gets into his bed. And then we're like, night, Craig. So he hangs up before he goes to bed. About half an hour later, he joins the chat again. It's just him in bed, trying to join. You can see his missus livid with him. Like, it's 1:30 on a Monday. What are you doing,
He's
man?
getting a live voice note right in his ear. There's no mobile.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
It's a good way to end all conversation, I think.
But you were saying at the start, like you've got a tour coming up. So you looking forward to it? No. Treat
Yeah.
yourself.
Right, so it went on sale just at the end of June. So
Quite a few sold out dates already.
so that's so I'm doing 8 dates in November. They're selling really well,
right.
and then I've got 40 something dates in February, March, and April. So I'm doing 3 nights at the Soho Theatre in London, 1 night in Leicester Square Theatre. I'm doing the Pavilion in Glasgow, which is 1,400. Nottingham Playhouse is like 700 tickets. So yeah, a lot of them you're like, oh fuck. Because even like the first week, I've sold a decent amount.
Yeah.
But I'm still at 3% of the entire tour or something like that.
Yeah,
because
so it's like you look at the numbers and you're like, but when it's 40 dates, you're like,
yeah. Because I toured before and I think I did like 30 dates, but it was over 2 different runs and that sold really well. So, but it's all off the back. So I've just supported John Bishop on tour for like 5-6 months. We did arenas, like all sorts. It was amazing. So I've signed with the same company to tour in the hope that I can get that sweet Bishop money like followed back pretty
you
much.
just need to start doing documentaries on like beluga whales. That's
Oh,
what
do you
he
know
makes
what?
them.
I'd never heard of a beluga whale before.
Yeah.
And then the first 2 weeks of tour, John was trying to shoehorn the beluga whales bit in, and then it was never funny. He just dropped it. So I haven't heard of them since about the 12th of December, and that's just come flooding back.
Aye. On the tour, is there venues that you played for?
Yeah, so I did the Pavilion with John. So I've never done that. I've done the Kings quite a few times. Like I supported Frankie Boyle on tour before. So I've done that. Soho Theatre in London I've done, and a few others like Ipswich and Chester. But a lot of them, there's one I've never heard of. A place called Borden. Don't know. And then I've got a place I've never been, like Maidstone, Maidenhead. I'm doing Ullapool again, which is miles away. Inverness I've done before. I'm doing Hoyk in the Borders. I've never been there before. Oh no, actually, did I not host the Borders fashion show there? Maybe, but 2012. I don't know, maybe.
That's
and then
amazing.
just a flashback there. I was like, oh shit. So lots of venues I'm kind of new to, but it's exciting. Like, it's just once I get out there and start doing it, cool. And all my shows are all done in sign language, so that's like,
that's amazing.
yeah,
I was
so
going
it's
to say that too.
it's a big like mental preparation to do. So I signed all my show last time. This time I might sign half it, sign all of it, or use a sign language interpreter.
I was
or
going to say, is it
video
yourself
screens.
or is it
Yeah,
someone?
so I don't really know yet. I need to kind of work it out, but
Could, and it's like a big screen with like it pre-recorded. But
so that's what I did before. So I did
Right.
3 sections. So the first section I didn't speak for the first 20 minutes. It was a voiceover,
Right.
and I signed that all. Second section I was like my own interpreter,
Right.
So I filmed that. But the problem with that is it's so restrictive.
Because you have to follow. If
Yes.
something happens, you can't.
Yeah. So you're
deviate.
pausing it. So like I had a watch that could
Right.
control that. So like that wasn't that good. And then the third section I would sign and speak together, which is really difficult and not enjoyable at all. I remember the first time I did it was I'd been at my mate's wedding in Cheltenham the day before. So one of my mates, God bless him, essentially on the worst hangover ever, drove me 6 hours home. So I did the stand. It was at 5 o'clock, and it was brilliant. It was the first time I'd ever done a show in sign language. It was so good. But I remember sitting backstage just sweating for like 20 minutes afterwards because mentally it was so tough to do, like so tough, and but so rewarding. Like we had 800 deaf people come to our first comedy show. I did a UK tour. I went to Australia, went to New Zealand, and it was just so cool meeting people. Because my mum and dad are both deaf, so I was meeting other families that look like mine that I'd never actually met.
That's amazing. Man.
So that was really cool. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
So, saying top 5, can you name, will be hard, can you name your top 5 venues that you've played?
Yeah, so this, right, when you mentioned me this was the toughest one that I could think of, right? So some of them are cool. I've actually...
Because they'll be in your top 5 for different reasons. It'll be like, it's
man.
not the biggest, it's not the...
No.
Yeah.
Right, so the stand in Glasgow probably, it's, I would say pound for pound, one of the best rooms in comedy. The first time I did a solo show there and sold it out, it was great. So that kind of stuff. And it's just, because it was a couple of miles from where I grew up, it's on the doorstep. Yeah, so that's got to go in there. The King's Theatre. So that's the other Scottish venue I picked. So I worked in the bar at the King's Theatre 2007 before I went to uni. So I used to work a shift there, and then I'd go to ABC, the club, and work a shift there. So it was like double just trying to make money.
Sure.
And so to work in the bar and then less than 10 years later do a few gigs there, it was really cool. So I've supported Frankie there maybe 7 or 8 times, and I did a big charity gala with Bridges and a few other people. So the King's is great. So that's in there. And
it's high, the King.
yeah, 1700. So it goes up and up and up. So that's iconic for me. The O2. I mean, do you know what? The gig's not that good, but the actual venue is amazing. Because so we did an arena tour, and I wasn't meant to do all of John's tour, so I was meant to do. So I did one. I met him. I never met him before. We did one. He had 50 different support acts, one each night for the first, and then I did one, and we hit it off. The next day, he phoned me. The next day, I'm doing a sportsman's dinner with Dick Campbell and Stephen Craigan. And I was like, oh, I'll just take this call. Please change my life. And then, so I went and did 12 dates. And then John offered me more. And then he was like, oh, you've not done arenas, have you? So I did 3 of them. And then he was like, we finish in the Hydro next week. Come do the Hydro. So then another week. And he was like, actually, you're doing really well. Just do all of them. So I ended up doing every arena in the UK. And it's mental. And the thing, it's weird how quickly you get used to it. You're like, oh, which way's catering? Like, you get so used to it so early.
You used to adapt.
Yeah.
Like,
so when I did this, I came back, my first gig back was a stand, and Jay Lafferty, brilliant comic, came up to you. She's like, can I say something to you? She's like, your eye line is all over the place. And I'd been playing up because I'd been so used to playing the thousands. And then I was playing 42 people at the start. And then she was like, just look down, like, because they're all there.
Yeah.
So the O2 was the last date we did. Wembley, I got heckled more at Wembley than I did the rest of the tour combined. Weird. The Hydro was really cool. Like friends and family there. Right. I took all my mates to Wembley.
I saw that on your Twitter.
So I got them all back on stage.
Amazing,
because they've been to all the shit gigs.
Yeah, like they've been supporting you all that way through.
So I've been doing
like
14 years in. So I was like, come Wembley. I went out at a craft beer place in London, bought tons of craft beers, and then the next day we did like a 14 hour session in London, and I had to go to Torquay the day after.
Spent all your tour money.
4 hours going backwards on a train. Oh, mate, just trying not to whitey the whole time. It was horrible. The day after the Hydro, I was sick in the Magnet car park when we were looking to buy a new kitchen. I was just enjoying it.
Yeah,
John got me onto Rosie. So I was in the tank in the Whispering Angel. Yeah, tank in the Rosie. So we got really into it. And there was one day we were in Cambridge. So we had a tour bus. So we got off the tour bus.
So rock and roll.
Yeah, it was class, man. And then we're hungover. We've been out in Manchester the night before. So that was a good thing with tour bus. You would go out, get pissed, jump in the bus, wake up in a new place. Yeah. So we got to Manchester, Cambridge, and John's like, oh, my throat's a bit sore. I can see a Boots that's maybe 400 yards away. And he's like, there. And then he goes away. 10 minutes later, he comes back, and there's a knock on the door, and usually it's a PIN code you put in on the door, so I press a button, and he's standing there. He's just bought 400 quid's worth of wine. And I was like, mate, you're not getting thick. He was like, yeah, there's a wine shop just before, so I'm just gonna go back out. So that's what it was like.
That's amazing.
But the O2, like, so we flew. Me, Haley, and my wife came down. It was just the two of us. So we flew down to London City, and you go by it, and you're like, because I'd never been there before. I was like, that's cool. You see that, and then when you get there, you walk in. When you go backstage, like, there's wee secret rooms backstage, and then there's a secret kind of bar room. But at the back of that bar room, there's another secret room. And I remember just walking through, I was like, so many people have been shagged in here. This is class, man.
Look at it here.
Yeah. I wanted one of those UV lights, you get CSI. So like, that's probably one of the Kasabians up there. Like, it was just, and the gig was fine, like, compared to some of the other ones. Some of the other arenas were, Dublin was amazing, Leeds was great, Glasgow was great.
I've got written down Dublin.
Oh, man.
Because I feel I
did a hate crime. I said, so 8,500 people in Dublin. I've got the video. I've not put it out yet. I'm so scared to put it out. 8,500. It got filmed. The whole set. I've smashed it. One of the best gigs I've ever had. 8,500 people at the end of the gig. I went, thank you, Belfast. And people were like tagging the Garda, the Irish police on Twitter, going, there's been a hate crime at Dublin Arena tonight and stuff like that. Like, it was, and then John came out and just talked about how Dublin and Belfast look nothing alike and no one would ever get them mistaken for each other. The thing was, we'd been in Belfast the night before.
Right.
And I got the train down and I'd walked around Dublin. There was no excuse for it. It was honestly horrific. And do you know Jason Byrne, Irish comedian?
Yes.
Jason found it. He was backstage watching the funniest thing. And I was over in Kilkenny recently doing a festival and he brought it up every time I saw him. Every time.
Thank you, Sligo.
Yeah. Imagine. Good. Thank you, Westlife. Cheers. Bye. So then I've gone overseas for my other two.
Oh.
One of the weirdest things, so this would have been 2016. So I've been in Australia a lot, but sometimes I try add in gigs on the way home. I did like a big theatre in Singapore, and that was really cool. So me, Diliso Chaponda, who then went on to like second or third in Britain's Got Talent, and Nick Doody. Oh, yeah. We did this like 500-600 seater in Singapore. It was sold out. It was mental. And what they do is when you gig in Asia, they put you up in hotels and they'll give you a driver. So like during the day, I was at Universal Studios seeing the Minions, and then at night I'm playing a theatre in Singapore. I was like, what is happening? But the best venue, I actually, before I came in, I didn't even know this was going to be filmed. I thought this was much lower budget, I'll be honest, mate. I did a gig, so 2016 as well, 15th of August. I went over with Dan Nightingale, who I would say pound for pound is one of the best comics in the UK. He's got a podcast called Have a Word that is insanely huge.
I love that.
Yeah, podcast. So Dan and Adam.
It is so funny.
Dan is, I'm supporting him he's doing the Glee in Glasgow in October. Go see him. He's absolutely brilliant.
They just can't seem like
to fail.
Like they just put out little clips and they smash it. Yep. They're so time.
Good, and I love Dan. So me, Dan, and a Canadian comic called Glenn Will, who's brilliant. We went to do a festival in Croatia.
Is that the guy with the long?
Yeah. So we went over to a place called, it was Obanyan. So it was like a yoga well-being retreat, but everyone seemed to just get pilled up at night. And this is the venue we did, right? So what camera is best to show? This one here. So that I'm going to show you first, Andy. That was the venue. You get there.
Like, how? Also, was it at night time?
Yeah, it was sunset.
Because I was going to say, it was great, if it had been daytime,
it was
your complexion.
But that island had like a swimming pool and like it was mad. I mean, the gig was fine. Like the gig wasn't anything special, but that venue, I remember just walking by it because we stayed in these kind of glamping pods, and Glenn went missing for like 24 hours. But it was just, see when you were cutting about, you was just like, I tell knob jokes. Like, how am I here? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Because I think 2014, I made a decision to try gig overseas as much as I could, just so I could experience new things and see stuff. So like, but yeah, that would be one of them. What about acting wise? What's your like big venues?
I did my agent showcase when I at the Soho Theatre.
Oh, lovely.
Soho is a great wee venue.
Great. What room were you upstairs, downstairs?
Downstairs.
Oh, cool.
So, did that, but I did Panto.
Where?
Bournemouth Pavilion.
Hey, I did that on tour. I did 2 nights. Yeah,
1,600 people. Like, so it was Scott Maslin from EastEnders in the bill.
Who is he?
Jack Brannon. Like, Like, not Max. Max could be he's a bald ginger.
Big sexy boy, isn't he?
So Jack Brannon, so he was Abanazar, like the Jafar character in Aladdin,
Yeah.
and I was the Emperor, so I was like Jasmine's dad.
How long was this?
2013.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so a while now, man.
Yeah. So much money down there.
Mate, it's crazy because I was on like an assistant stage manager's wage because
Right.
I was at like ASM plus the Emperor.
Okay.
So wasn't like it was enough to pay my digs and then have spending money was there. Like I didn't come home
Yeah.
from Panto with money. And I'm like walking about and I was just like, oh my god, like Bournemouth is mad money. Everyone just owns all the wee beach huts and everyone has a boat.
In memory of Bournemouth is the first night we did it. So that was the first day we did like all the tech. So we had the big screens in. So we didn't have the screens before. And I wore like a kind of mustard kind of shirt. It's from Zara. Like I'm doing well for myself. And I came off stage and I was like, I think a security light was going on because the crowd were so lit up. And all the crew were like, nah, that's our fault. Because your head is so shiny, you have to wear dark colours. Because I wore light, so I lit up the entire room. And they were like, so generally, the next day, I spent 3 hours in Bournemouth trying to find dark coloured shirts. The Zara had closed
like a
down.
Beacon.
Mate, they were like, it was like we were watching a lighthouse, like on for 25 minutes.
That's amazing.
So
man.
yeah, I forgot about that. That just gave me a flashback there.
But I've been to loads of like shows and been to loads of like theatres. That's why I was saying like the Kings. Like, I've been to see so many shows.
Yeah,
like,
it's
Kings.
great,
Like,
innit?
I think the last time I was there, it was the Steamy when they
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
did the
yeah,
revival of the Steamy.
yeah.
But it was like kind of last minute. We got the tickets, and it was that way. We were in, I think, the upper circle, like front row, and you're like, oh, fuck,
Yeah, man.
like,
Altitude sickness, innit?
And we went to see Hamilton at the Victoria down in London,
Yeah,
which is, if you've
yeah,
seen
it's class. Yeah,
Hamilton is just incredible. But again, seats were like so expensive, and it was my missus got them for my 30th. Went down, and she was shitting herself because they were like amazing seats because we were like in the middle.
yeah.
But it's so steep. It is mad.
I thought that. See some of the places we did,
And that's why your eye line's like.
Yeah, but when you get to like 8,000-9,000, like you just have to go up. You can't go out anymore. And it's like, why are you sitting there? And what's really weird is, say you're on stage, like you in the front row will look up at me, but if you're on the left hand side, you just watch the screen instead of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here though. What are you watching?
I went to see. I think it was went to see like Wicked when I lived down in London for a few years, and we went to see like a matinee. It wasn't that busy, but like the seat you put was like 30 quid, and you're like, and it was like a group of us from where I worked, and we were all like one side. And see, as soon as the house lights down, it was like all you heard was like, brrr, or the seats sitting up because everyone just moves to the middle, and the house staff just don't even bother because it's like I'm sitting here and there's 10 empty seats beside me.
There's something beautiful about a Celtic fan complaining about not having a good view when I've paid £32 for your restricted view pish in the away end.
The big green pillar is
it's insane.
It's got like
insane.
It's like on Twitter, it's got its own identity. Like all it is I'll just see like pictures of like, and it's just Celtic fans retweeting like you see, I think it's Reading or someone or a championship club have introduced like a 20s plenty like campaign.
Yeah, I saw that.
But they've said they'll only do it if the
you
club
match them.
and only like 4 or 5 clubs so far.
Great.
And I'm like, that's what it needs. And I'm not saying that because you said the price. Like it is, it's mental. The price that for football tickets is
I
just.
spoke about this enough the ball weekend. I went to Bristol Rovers against Plymouth, a derby. I was down there. And 26 quid to get in, I think it was. I go in, I sit down, and the guy next to me, I always chat to people because when I'm away a lot, I'll try go to a game.
Yeah.
And I went, who's good? And the guy went, no one, we're all shite. And I was like, nice one, 26 quid spent. And best thing, 0-0. Fucking dreadful game. I was like, he knows his stuff.
I think my brother went to like Berlin and they all went to like Hertha Berlin game. They were all buzzing. No.
So I used to have a football podcast called Soccer FM, and we did this thing called Teams Around the World. So we'd support different teams. A team in Suriname called Robin Hood. So we'd like get in touch with people like there. And Ujpest was our European team, so from Hungary. I was on my mate Paul Stagdo, and I was like, let's go to an Ujpest game. So we went to the last game of the season. I played Honved, who's now managed by Tam Courts, and we go there, and Paul's uncle is there, and he's not a big football fan. He's like, I'm not sure I'm going to come, but it was $2.70 to get in, and $1.20 a pint. So we go there, see Ujpest are 2-0 up or something like that. We're 6 or 7 pints in at the game. I turn to Paul's uncle. I go, you enjoying it? And this is a guy that didn't want to come to the game. He was like, if we score again, I'm going taps off. I was like, yes, we have mind washed them.
Being steaming at the football was like, I think it was a Celtic game, and it was like Celtic Hearts or something, and me and my mate like steaming, but he was so steaming that he missed, like, he didn't register one of the goals.
Well, ever celebrating, he's just there.
So yeah, but we scored late on to make it 2-0. He thought it was a last minute. He thought it was a last minute winner. So he's losing his mind. Everyone's obviously like, "Oh yes, we've sealed it. We've got the win." He's fucking going mental. I'm like, it's 2 or it was 3-1 or something. It was like it was to go 2 up, and like he just didn't register the goal. It was so stupid. It wasn't like he was at the toilet. Just didn't.
I play amateur football, and that happens so much. The amount of times people come in, like, oh, fuck, I can't believe we drew that. We're like, we won 4-2. He's like, what? How did it? Like, fair enough, you miss 1 because that can happen. But 2? You played left back the whole game, mate.
That's amazing. Run out of time, but what we're going to do is just based on this, kind of spur of the moment, top 5 stadium that you've been to. We'll try and rattle through them.
Oh,
So it can be. It doesn't necessarily need to be for a game that you've been to, even if you just visited it, like just as spectacle.
Yeah. Firhill,
obviously.
Yeah, Melbourne Cricket Ground. Which is like 100 and something thousand. It's amazing.
Been to Croke Park in Dublin?
No, I've not been to any games in Dublin actually. Over there.
I went for like a Gaelic football game, and I went on the tour. It's mental. It's a horseshoe, and then it's standing at one end, and it's 3 stands, like 3 tiers high all the way around, and then just nothing at the other end except from Hill 16 because the train track. So,
Hill 16 sounds like a jail, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's mad, and it was like, see when the people that do the tour and that are so clued up, and it's like they tell it was a game, and it was like the army came over and they shot a guy on the pitch, and you're just like, what? How? Like they just embrace it all. It's Croke Park if you get a chance to go there.
I'll be up for that. I like shit grounds.
Yeah, see grounds you're just like close to the
like Brecon. I loved Brecon. It's got a big hedge, like all the way down it. My dad's a Stranraer fan, so going out to Stranraer, some of the shittest food and shittest football you'll ever see. I went to a Benfica game. Their stadium's banging, Stadio de Luz, and the guy in front of me was Portuguese, and he just shouted the whole game. And I don't speak any Portuguese, but I knew exactly what he was saying the whole time. Yeah. Just one of those moany bastards you get, always specky.
It's usually behind you.
I think who else? English grounds and all that.
I've been to Anfield a couple of times. I went to Anfield like before it got. I was there before it got the massive redevelopment, and I've been since. It's an amazing ground. Like I do think there is a bit of like hype with the European nights and stuff. I think it's good. I was at the 5 each Arsenal League Cup game like just before like COVID. Yeah. I was there. Like it was my mate got me for my birthday. So we went down. It was class in one of the lounges and stuff. It was amazing, and it's an amazing ground. But I think like before like it got the revamp, I feel it had a bit more kind of whereas now it's come a bit more touristy.
Yeah, like, I went when I was with John when I was on tour and we were playing West Ham, and I've always kind of been like, oh, that'd be cool. But see, generally as a neutral, when You'll Never Walk Alone come on, I generally get goosebumps with everyone singing around it. Do you know what I prefer though? Goodison. Goodison is terrible but good. I went down to
it's an odd shape.
Yeah, recently me and my dad went to Everton Chelsea, so it was one Everton won 1-0, and it was a proper good bit of niggle in the April, beginning of May. So Everton were fighting for survival, but the atmosphere was
you're on top of the pitch, aren't it? It's like Stamford Bridge, like so.
I think that adds to the atmosphere. So
100%, because like I say, when I lived in London, I tried to before I left, tried to go to as many grounds.
Did you go to film?
I did.
How was it?
It's so weird. It's a shithole, but it's really cool. Like the fact there's a cottage and stuff like that.
The Michael Jackson statue still there?
I didn't see the Michael Jackson statue.
I think they took it down.
That was the thing. I might have gone to take it down with.
As a fan of culture, I thought you would have swept that up. I'm trying to think of any other.
But every other ground that feels too big. You're too far away. Like Emirates, like
Hampden.
the new. Oh mate, if you're in the North Stand, it's okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you're anywhere else.
Yeah, I go there quite a lot, and it's like
I was in the South Stand upper for the Ukraine. First time I'd ever been there for the Ukraine game, just there.
Oh, I was there. I think I was that South Stand.
They released like a last minute.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
South Stand upper. First time I'd ever been. It's clearly they were trying to sell signature tickets.
I got offered. I was doing a Scotland thing, so I got offered some tickets, and my mate was like, "Oh, I'll get tickets. Do that." we got the alley arms before the game. And he's like, oh yeah, 2 of them are in one stand, 2 of them in the other, and they're not standing near each other. And I was like, I could have got much nicer tickets for free. Why am I paying you 25 quid? Yeah, I just don't know. I would say the Ukraine game. No, sorry. I would say the Israel game when Scott McTominay scored last minute is one of the best atmospheres I've ever been at.
Incredible. I got my ticket for that quite last minute. And and I'm not usually one to kind of take my phone out and like record at the end. But see when like I Can Boogie came on at the end, I was in like the back row, so I stood on my seat because I knew I wasn't like, and I just got this video, and I remember walking back and watching it, and I was like, fucking hell. And I'm never usually like that, but I could sense it was just this.
It's the first time I've ever seen everyone stay at Hampden for like 10, 15 minutes.
No one went anywhere.
It was amazing.
It was so good. It was so good. So we've gone through quite a few topics there, and I think we might have 5. But what I now want you to do is give me what's your top 5 combined. So best pint,
Paulaner,
best stadium football,
Firhill,
best venue that you've played,
the Kings,
number 1 bald man,
the guy from the McCain's advert,
and finally number 1 ginger.
The guy from the McCain's advert.
Awesome. I can't believe we got 5 there. That
was good. That was good.
Well, thank you very much for being my first guest.
No worries.
What's your top 5?
I look forward to coming back when you've got a budget. I cannot wait.
Sponsorship. Awesome, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, everybody.